up in the sky. Look, it's captivating. It's energizing. It's Eliances Heroes. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups, where our heroes in business align. Now, here's your host flying in, David Kogan, founder of Eliances.
I am 100% convinced that nobody has a better job than me. Who has the opportunity to unlock the secrets of our heroes? Everyone from well-known CEOs, President of the United Nations, famous actors and actresses, and so much more. Make sure you go to Eliances.com. It is the only place where entrepreneurs align. And today's lineup, let me tell you who's coming on later. We have the founder and CEO of Grande, AMA and Associates, on Ama Grande, and many other guests. But let's go ahead and let's get started with our first guest. And by the way, thank you for the feedback we continue to have from having the producer of the Jobs movie on. You can check it out at Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. All right, our next hero. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to share his secrets with all of you. He has been killed, beaten up, or jailed by nearly every leading actor on Earth and even in outer space. You'll remember him as the bad guy in many movies like Minority Report, starring Tom Cruise, Dark Angel, Jessica Alba, and so many others. With that, we have Patrick Kilpatrick, who could be reached at patrickkilpatrick.com. Patrick, you're the famous tough guy. Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
How does that feel? I mean, you play the tough guy in all these movies.
Well, it's been rich acting turf, and it allowed me to put my lovely sons through expensive schools and lead a pretty good life for 30 years. So it feels pretty good. I like acting.
Now,
as much as I like writing and teaching and directing and producing.
I mean, talk about the enormous amount of various skills that you have and your craft. How did you get to be so good at everything you're doing?
Well, I call it curse of a liberal arts education. But truthfully, if you want to launch an entertainment career and maintain one, you kind of evolve into all those areas. I mean, you really need to be a good writer if you want to be a fine actor, because you often have to polish scripts and you have to create lines, and knowing what a director and a producer do chemically makes you a better actor. So I was always interested in learning new things, so it came easily just to keep absorbing. And also I'd had a corporate career as a writer for 10 years before I got to acting. So writing has always been part of my life, and the other stuff just comes from that. Certainly, you know how to deal with actors, so directing comes, and then out of self-preservation, you get into producing.
I mean, yeah, you started off, as you mentioned, your career, though, as a journalist. I mean, even working with most major magazines, including Life, Time, Sports Illustrated, Playboy, which we, by the way, had the CEO of Playboy on, and many others. I mean, so what made you, though, go from that area into acting? Very much different.
Well, I was always writing and performing. You know, if you're on camera for journalism, that's a type of performance, much like a type of performance when you're an athlete, which I've done before in a lot of different sports. So I was at Time Inc. after many years and a little bored because I'd been there, done that in my estimation from the journalism and the advertising writing. And I felt real writers wrote novels that I had admired. And so I took a break, and to save money, I ended up splitting a house with an actor, John Tillinger, who was becoming a huge Broadway force. And so to pick up extra money while I was writing the novel, I began assistant directing with him. And that led to being asked to join theater companies as a director and a play selector. And I wrote a play that got produced instead of a novel, and it just kind of transitioned over about 2 years from advertising and journalism into playwriting and directing and acting.
I love it. And I'm acting too, because I'm David Kogan, host of the Eliances Hero Show. Make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. We have the famous Patrick Kilpatrick. He's been an actor in so many movies, even including, the movie Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Last Man Standing opposite Bruce Willis, Under Siege. All the movies that I love to watch, the action-packed movies. You were even in a Western movie, HBO premiere films, even in Free Willy 3. I mean, talk about all the various roles and stuff. And now, author, your book is Dying for Living, Sins and Confessions of a Hollywood Villain. All right, tell and share, please, some of those secret confessions.
Well, I had a very unique upbringing. My father was a World War II hero, an underwater demolition team, received a Silver Star and Purple Heart, and was a great athlete. He struck out George Bush to win the National Collegiate Baseball Championship in 1949. And at the same time, my mother had some mental illness issues and was very volatile and violent and sometimes homicidal. And so that created sort of a war zone environment at home. And I came out of that. And I was a very exuberant child. So I had some sort of minor criminality and things like that when I first came out of my upbringing, which I got out of very, very young because I didn't enjoy home life because of the situation with my mother. And so, you kind of have to find your own way, morality-wise. And my mother had an affair with my baseball coach and betraying my father, who I thought was the finest man I'd ever met. Didn't sit well with me. So, you come out of that kind of environment with maybe some, I had my own infidelity issues. In those times, there was a lot of drug experimentation. I was a reckless kid on motorcycles and cars. So, you sort of have to sort all of that out as you're a young person. And, moved into first writing and acting and all of those things, which were very healing processes for me. I had a near fatal car crash and where else would you go to find morality than Hollywood?
Oh, yeah. And again, you can get his book on Amazon, Dying for Living, Sins and Confessions of a Hollywood Villain. Patrick Kilpatrick. All right, we've got a little less than a minute left, and we've got a number of questions that are coming in and stuff. One of these questions, though, is in regards to the secrets, though, to be a successful actor. I mean, it's such a competitive field, yet you have been in so many movies and TV and everything. What's some of the secrets, though, to be able to break into that field and then, more importantly, keep in the field?
Well, as I mentioned before, it helped that I had the mind of a writer and the sort of the sensibility of a showman, a producer, and director, and all of that. That certainly was helpful. But I run a mentorship program, a class, if you will, and I've taught all over the globe, really. And so there's a lot. There's a methodology. If I had to synthesize it in one phrase, it would be, you have to become a master at auditioning. If you don't do that, then you're kind of out in the cold. But how you become that involves some study and some time and all of that. So that's how I'd answer that question.
I love it. Well, Patrick, I'm definitely ready to take your mentor class. Patrick Kilpatrick. That's right. Make sure you go to PatrickKilpatrick.com to check him out. Entertaining, so many. That's a hero. That's right, Patrick Kilpatrick. And when we return, we have Anna Grande. This is David Kogan with Eliances.